They can't sing anyway.
I mean, but there are some artists from when we were younger too that I thought couldn't sing, but they made it.
Yeah, but we knew it though.
Yeah,
we
they
weren't
couldn't sing.
delusioned. I'm not gonna say that girl can sing. I know she couldn't.
The only one I think that we were a little delusional on, like I said before, was Keyshia Cole.
Look, we're not gonna no.
Keyshia, and I'm not saying Keyshia Cole can't sing. Keyshia Cole can sing. She can.
No.
But when I saw that TikTok somebody made that was like, let's go ahead and admit that Keyshia Cole's voice wasn't as good as we thought it was in high school.
Look, she still hit notes we could never.
Oh, 100%.
There would be no blasphemy.
But after they said that, I went back and listened
now,
to...
Now, she do be hooting and hollering. I'm not going to say she don't be hooting and hollering.
After I saw that TikTok, I went back and listened to some of her songs. I was like, you know what? Don't get me wrong. It's still good. I will listen to it all day long. I said, but if you would have asked me in high school, like who was one of at that time one of the best singers, I would have said Keyshia Cole.
But then you gotta think, was this before she got a vocal coach? The fact that she's singing like that at all with no vocal training ain't bad. Okay.
Yeah, because Love had everybody in a chokehold.
Still do.
And but was it? It's not before he cheats. Was it?
I should have cheated.
Should have lied.
Should have cheated.
I remember in high school when that song was like circulating.
You know how many people got sent the lyrics to that damn song?
Well, I remember in high school when that was circulating, I was in a film studies class.
Yeah.
And we had to make a short film.
No, somebody didn't make a short.
My team made a short film where the girlfriend was finding out that her boyfriend was cheating on her.
Yeah.
I was the friend, not the person he was cheating with. I was just I was the emotional support friend. And you know how a lot of movies will start like at the end,
yeah,
and they'll have it like in slow motion, like running through things, crying and stuff. We had that going, and we had I Should Have Cheated playing as like the soundtrack. I mean, I'm telling you, that was one of the most fun classes I ever took in high school. It was so much fun. I learned how to edit. I learned how to produce stuff. I learned how to do all that stuff.
You know what? I don't know if we had it or not because I wasn't interested. I would have never known.
We made a short documentary. I think I told you about this. Every group had to make a documentary. And my group's documentary was on Deadbeat dads.
That's messed up. Cold-blooded.
Yeah, and we all had dads.
Yeah, that's why y'all did it. That's why I said cold.
And I remember the last question at the very end. Well, they asked all of us one question at the end, and all of us had to answer it. But mine got as like the final like answer because all of us felt that way. And it was, if you could say one thing to your dad, what would it be? And I looked straight in the camera and I said, fuck you. And then it just cut to black after that.
You so dramatic.
And that's how I felt. And unfortunately my dad did see that. I heard he was not happy.
Well,
I'm just like,
hey.
I was like, well, ask me how many times I seen him this month.
Don't it hit dog holler? That's all I'm gonna say.
I was like, ask me how many times I seen him this month.
No, don't it hit dog holler.
I bet his wife's kids seen him a lot.
You know what's crazy? How many men do that? Well, they literally go, up, I don't like y'all no more. I'm starting over. And then just act like you're like it's crazy. You like, so you just gonna act like, so you take care of her kids over there and ignoring your kids right here. Your actual kids.
And the craziest part was like, I really didn't have anything against my dad. It was just, that was the first thing that came to mind when I was asked the question.
Well, girl, you obviously felt some way about it.
Well, yeah, I'm sure I felt some type of way about it. But when I would think about it, I'm like,
I mean, what you gonna do? Like, what is
it's like, what am I gonna do?
Like, I can't make that man want to be my daddy. Like, there's nothing I can do about it.
I was like, if I only see him once a month, I guess that's the only time I can see him then. Like, what can I do? That is completely in his control, not mine.
Like, I don't even got a job. You come see me whenever.
I'm here. I'm a child, so I'm just
not
here.
busy.
I'm literally just in this world existing.
You know where I'm at, either at school or at home. You know where I exist. You know where I be.
So, and that's not to say I did spend time at my dad's house. Now, depending on who you ask, I was with him the whole time, but let's be for real. But yeah, I spent time over there. I spent time with the wife's kids and all that stuff. But yeah, I heard he was not happy about that documentary.
Well,
and then at the end of the class, which was at the end of the school year, they had all of us, like all the shows and movies, and we did a PSA too. We did all kinds of film stuff. They premiered it all at the movie theater over by the school.
Oh, that's cute.
It was actually pretty cool to sit in the theater and watch us on.
Your school had money.
No, it didn't.
I don't know how somebody know somebody up in that movie theater.
I'm like, they probably just had connections because that school did not have money. But I did really, really, really love that school. Yeah, that was the school. So, because I've been to like 3 different.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if I had to choose and I could go back, I would have did what I was supposed to do at the private school.
Yeah, that you didn't do.
That I had a 4-year scholarship, 100% paid. The scholarship was for my 4 years at the private school, high school, and 4 years for college.
Girl, you got your mind. I would have beat your ass. Oh, the anger.
And I lost that scholarship my sophomore year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said this before, my mouth gets me in trouble.
Like, you don't know.
I called the administrator of that scholarship, illiterate. She heard me. Now, I wasn't talking to her. I was talking to my friends. And she heard me. She had something against me ever since then. And even my mama backed me on that. She was like, you had improved, because my grades weren't really shit either, but I was working to improve them. And my mother had put me on punishment. She's like, you are on punishment until the day those grades come up.
And they good. Then you free.
Yeah. And I don't know if y'all know how long, at least back then, how
long time.
How long a semester of school was. That's a long time.
No, you had a little midterm in between.
No, she wanted official grades.
Oh.
It wasn't I don't need to see no progress report. I need to see official grades come up. She wanted to see the progress report too, yes, because she needs to see progress. But once we get those final grades.
Girl, that was such a long time.
Man. So yeah, I'm working to get these
your
grades
freedom
up. And right. So on the progress report that we had got, I had like a D, if I'm remembering correctly. And by the time we got to the next set of progress reports, they all of a sudden changed the rules of the scholarship. And now D's are no longer acceptable. It has to be
C's and above.
Yeah. And I was just like, are you serious? So now that they changed that, I no longer have a scholarship. I
your
need
grades
to figure.
She hates your well, there are a lot of, but honestly, I ain't gonna blame the school because a lot of them, that is the rule. C's and above is the C is the lowest grade you can get. You can't get
At the time
D.
it was D's. I think like D+ or something like that, because the school did do like A+, A-, that stuff.
Girl, she hates you. This your fault that rule changed.
It is.
Because she hated your guts.
And even my mom was like, that wasn't the rule. And y'all just changed that mid-semester. Like, what the hell?
Because she hated your guts. Not even at the end of the semester, right in the middle.
I remember being in homeroom, sitting at my desk. It had literally just started. Bell hadn't even rung yet. Literally sat at my desk for homeroom. Bell rings. And then an announcement comes up saying, Jocelyn Alexander, please come to the office.
Everybody, ooh.
And because that's when you would always get the call down to the office to talk about financial stuff. So we all knew that that's what it had to be about.
Ooh.
And that's when they told me, like, you don't have a scholarship here no more. Like, how you gonna pay for next semester? And it wasn't cheap.
Bye. Oh, I hated those.
And then my mama came up there. They talked to her.
Yeah.
And we weren't rich, so she was like, I can't pay for that.
We was here on scholarship.
Right. And I ended up having to leave. I felt like it was halfway through my sophomore year.
That sucks.
And I tried to go to the school that I ended up graduating from. But when I did the whole interview with them, I wouldn't speak.
Well, yeah, that's not helpful.
They kept asking me questions, but my mama was there too, so I would look at her and be like, answer their question.
And they like, girl, no.
So they told her they were gonna waitlist me. And then I had to go to a school called Manly, which was a very not so great school in Chicago. Had some violence, some gangs in there. Not the type of school I wanted to be at, I'll tell you that.
Well, yeah.
But I remember going there for my second half of my sophomore year, and I slept almost every day in my classes and still passed everything with A's and B's. Because naturally, if I'm coming from a way harder school,
I already learned all this. That y'all learned
literally,
last year.
I had already learned all of that stuff. So I'm like, I'm so bored. And then I was learning like what was coming next year. I'm like, I learned that too. Like, what are we doing here? And I remember going to my mama and being like, yeah, I don't want to go back to that school. And she was like, sorry for you.
Should have thought about that.
I mean, she didn't say those exact words.
But,
I don't remember what her exact
I'm sure
words
she wouldn't
were,
be you.
but
She
was
just like that. We gotta do what we got. It's your fault we over here any damn way.
Literally. And
Dang.
And on top of that, the school I wanted to go to, she like, you're waitlisted there. What can you do?
Because you didn't talk, girl. Girl, my mom would have been going off on me if I did a third of the shit you be doing. If I was going to an interview and not speak the way I would have got told her.
I'm telling you, that's why I tell people all the time. I used to be a pretty shy person.
Girl,
I really shied away from talking to people that I didn't know. And these people were talking to me and asking me questions. I'm just like,
I ain't talking to you.
I don't want to say the wrong thing, so you say it. But yeah, I remember right before, maybe the summer before my junior year was supposed to start, I hijacked one of my friends. It's not homecoming. It's where you go, pre-registration.
Yeah.
For the next year, because she went to the school that I wanted to go to, which was called North Lawndale College Prep. It was a charter school, or is a charter school. And I asked her if I could go with her, and she was like, sure. I don't know why you would want to,
because you're scheming.
She didn't know that. And honestly,
I would have thought that too. Like, what?
Honestly, I didn't even know that I was going there with the intent to try to get into that school. I was just, honestly, in my head, when I asked her, I was just tagging along because I wanted to see what what it looked like throughout the school, because I didn't get a tour of it when we went and everything, which is also an indicator that you're not going to this school.
Yeah, if you ain't get a tour, you ain't coming.
But I wasn't going there with that intent. It was while I was there that I was just like, I have to get in this fucking school.
Yeah, because you thinking about you, but I don't want to go back to that place.
I was like, I don't want to go back to that school. I was just thinking beyond high school. And I was thinking about the school that I had came from. It had a track record of of having their high school graduates end up in really prestigious schools. So I'm like, man, that was an opportunity that's now missed. And I was like, if I go back to this other school, it's not to say that I can't still get into prestigious schools.
It's gonna be hard,
but I don't have that backing behind me anymore to help me.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at my friend who I know goes to this school, and I'm like, she's getting an education that's more on the level of that private school that I went to, which, yeah, still, they don't have necessarily the backing behind them that the private school did, but at least I'll be getting a better education, which will make me more attracted to these more elite schools anyway. And I don't know why I'm thinking about all of that at 16.
Because we had to, because we knew we didn't have no money and our parents didn't have no money neither. So you had to think about it.
When I got to that school and I was walking around with all them, she talking to her friends, we going to all the classes, meeting all the teachers, talking about what's coming up for the next year and stuff. And I'm just like, man.
I'd be like, I don't want to go to that other place.
Somehow I ended up separated from her. And I ended up sitting in their office. And they had 2 deans of the school. And one of them came walking through the door. I cornered that man. I was like, I don't know if you remember me. My name is Jocelyn. We interview you, put me on the wait list for admission. I really want to see if I can try to get into the school. Is there anything I can do? And then he was just looking at me. He barely even got a word out. And I was just like, right now I'm at this school and I'm sleeping through all of my classes. I have all A's and B's, but they're not challenging me and I need something that's more challenging.
He's like, wait.
I'm telling you, the way I begged for that dang on to get in that school, like, I think he could see in my face that the desperation. Like, I truly felt my life would not be where I wanted to be if I did not graduate from a better school. And like I said, no shade against the people that graduated from Manly. Some of my family did. But I was just like, it's not for me. And I genuinely don't remember what he said to me after that. But somehow I ended up leaving and going home.
You bullied that man.
I feel like I blacked out. Because I
mind you, because he probably remember he like, the mute is now attacking me in my office. No, just no.
So yeah, I laid it thick on him. I was like, I need to go to this school. And
the fact you there begging without a parent is crazy. With no parents.
That's the other thing. No one's parents was there at all.
What?
Yeah, it was just the students there.
That's so weird.
And I was really surprised also because it's also a small school. So they know each student. I was surprised they let me even be there.
Why would there not be parents? I'm so confused. Is it because it's high school?
Probably because it was high school. It was junior year. I mean, freshmen and stuff had their parents.
It's like my mama was with me.
But junior year, they was like, it's time for you to start gearing up for
making
decisions on your own. Yeah, it was just registration.
Oh yeah, you don't.
And we had already, not we, but they had already been looking at stuff beforehand and everything. So they pretty much knew what classes they want. It was me that didn't know what classes to take because I didn't have access to all that shit to know.
Because you still...
Because I was still on the wait list.
You in the back.
But yeah, I think it was like that Monday or something like that, I got a call from them saying that I got accepted into the school. And
he said, shoot, if you want it that bad.
Exactly. They was like, something done lit a fire under her ass.
They go into that hood ass school and lit the fire of education under her. So she might act right over here.
And literally, because now I'm sure my mother will correct me if I'm wrong. But I think once I started at that school, I mean, honestly, once I left the private school, but once I started at North Lawndale, she didn't have issues with me when it came to school stuff. I got my homework done. I did extracurricular
you
activity.
After you begged for that shit.
Like, I was like, I worked to get into this damn school. I am not gonna screw that up.
Well, good for you.
So, yeah.
And you going in there begging and shit and then getting bad grades. I would be so mad. I'm like, girl.
And yeah, went from the girl that was just fucking around in school, and by fucking around, I mean just playing around, to graduated National Honor Society, future business leader of America, softball team.
It don't got nothing to do with intelligence. It's just some people want it more than others. It don't got nothing to do with who's necessarily smarter.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, I can't go back to that school. I can't. My mom was so surprised. She was like, you went and got yourself into another school? And I was like, yeah, I did.
I wasn't even supposed to be there.
I'm like,
really, I was a trespasser.
I'm like, honestly, I'm just as surprised as you.
It worked.
It worked. And anytime I think about that day, that is what made me develop the mentality of, if you don't ask, you know the answer is no.
And it's true. You don't know.
You don't know
You
what
never assume it's no.
You never assume the answer is no. You don't know what opportunities you might be missing out on because you didn't ask the question. If I would have never reached out to them and, hijacked that registration with my friend, I would have never cornered that man and made him understand how badly I needed to get out of that school.
I'm still cracking up. You was a trespasser. Rolled up to got water on my mouth. I
think they only trusted me because I came with my friend. And I don't think they knew, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But when I did the interview, I don't think that they knew that I knew somebody that went there. And I don't think they knew it was her. She was our salutatorian. Okay. Or which one is higher? Valedictorian?
Valor.
She was the valedictorian. Or she was one of the two. So that means she was one of the...
She either one or two. She was
either one or two. I don't remember which one she was, but she was one or two. And I think he did ask me who I came there with. And I was like, I came here with Janae. And he was like, Janae?
Or Janae?
The, head of class, Janae? And I'm like, yes, her. Then I think that also probably played a part.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
She had, perfect grades. In their eyes, she was, a sweetheart. I knew the real Janae. But
Janae did what she needed to do.
Janae did what she needed to do. And I think that also played a part with them being like, all right, we're going to just, wherever she was on that wait list, just bring her on in. And I feel bad too, because I'm like, I probably took somebody's spot.
You did. Now they got waitlisted. Well, now, because some people register and never show up. So that's true. If anything, that's who spot you got.
Yeah, it probably somebody that was supposed to come, didn't come. Whatever it was, God was looking out. Because I'm telling you, that my last 2 years of high school was the best years of high school. And I feel like it's usually the first couple years.
It was the first for me. It was okay.
The first couple years, the first year and a half, I bullshitted around. The second half of that second year, I was just like, all right, you need to come up with a plan, because you can't live like this.
You can't live.
I'm dramatic.
You are dramatic. Can't live like this.
I'm telling you, I can't describe how I felt at that school. I thought it was utterly ridiculous that I could sleep through all my classes and still pass all of them with A's and B's.
Well, because you already did it.
Still, though, I was just like, that doesn't make it better. This is still ridiculous. And I truly felt that even if I hadn't got the education at that private school, I still would have been able to do that.
Well, yeah.
So, but one of the teachers there hated me though. Not at Manly, at North Lawndale. His name was Mr. Kavanaugh.
Sounds like a jerk.
He could not stand me for some reason. I have no idea. I genuinely don't know. I do know I had to have my mama come up there and talk to him once, because we did Spirit Week, which I think we should do.
Yeah.
But we did Spirit Week, and one of the days was come dressed up as your grandmother day. And I think I wore a sweatsuit or something like that.
Yeah.
Which my grandma wore shit
a
like
lot
that.
of old people wore sweatsuits.
Yeah, so that's what I wore. He gave me detention and said I wasn't dressed like my grandparent. So my mama...
You don't know what my grandparent is dressed
That's exactly
as?
what my mama came up there and said. How do you know how my mother dressed? And they had to take the detention away. But
they wanted you to come with a moo stuff. No, that ain't how my grandma dressed.
But the other thing was, a lot of people didn't come dressed in the moo and shit like that. I'm like, but why am I getting detention?
First of all, the wording should have been dressed like a grandparent.
But that's what really solidified that he didn't like me was in our senior year when we were applying to colleges and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I went with my friend Paris to his classroom so that she could get something from him. And it turns out it was scholarship information for her to apply to scholarships. And in my face, straight face, he tells this girl, do not share this with Jocelyn.
He can't do that.
And I was like, what I do? said, that is so terrible.
You like, sir, if I want to be petty, I really could have got you in trouble for that. Like, if I
Yeah.
really wanted to be petty.
That stuck with me. I was like,
I do.
damn. I said, I don't think I've ever experienced that much hate towards me. Like, I'm like, because you quite literally, like, what if that scholarship is just what I needed to be able to go to college or
But
something?
like somebody else can't share it with you. It's a mass-produced piece of information he was giving everybody.
Yeah, and after when we left, Perry was like, I ain't about to listen to him. I was like, it's fine. I ain't gonna even apply even if you did share it with me, so it's fine. But yeah, he told her not to share the scholarship information with me. And I was like, damn.
Crazy. I am a child and you're an adult. What is going? Because you.
I'll tell you, I've been catching strays my whole life. I'll tell you, I haven't, and now, like I said, like I've always said, I'm not saying I don't do things to these people. I probably do. But I'll also say, with that one specific, I have no idea what that man had against me.
You just hated your
I had no idea. I was like, I don't know why he don't like me, but he
maybe
clearly
he don't
doesn't.
like the way you walk. It irritates him.
Maybe he don't like the way I talk, the way I look. Maybe my eyes is too close together. I don't know.
But that's wild. Like, sir, I really could have got you in trouble for that if I felt like being petty.
I was like, dang, I ain't never experienced that level of hate.
Girl,
Just
for
said, fuck your
nobody.
future.
I know. Don't share this with her.
Hope you end up on the side of the road homeless.
Golly.
It's like, damn. But yeah, he did tell her that, and I was in the room and heard it. So I'm like,
why did he just say it to your face?
Literally, he might as well said, I'm giving this to her and not you, bitch.
Might as well.
Same wording to me. So yeah,
I ain't had no teacher hate me like that.
He's the only one. Usually teachers love me, but he's the only one.
That's funny, but it ain't.
And maybe that was why, because the teachers did love me.
Maybe he was jealous. Maybe he was being on the in crowd and no one liked him.
Not many people did like him. He was hard. His class was hard. He was one of our science teachers, and his class was hard. I ain't gonna even lie.
He likes it that way.
But no one really cared that it was hard. We thought he was a bit of an ass, and he was. But we didn't care that his class was hard. We understood why it was hard. It was biology. It's not meant to be easy.
Yeah.
So we understood. But whatever. Anywho, what you been up to?
Well, it's not spring, but I have finally started my spring cleaning.
I said it is spring.
Oh yeah, it ain't summer yet. When is that? The 23rd?
I'm like summer sometime in July, ain't it?
No.
Is it
the end? Is it the end of this month?
I don't know. I'm just
Look on your phone. See what it
at
says.
this point, because of global warming, it's all starting to just blur now.
Yeah, it was 90 degrees weeks ago. Is it June 23rd?
When does I don't know. I always thought,
what is the first day of summer?
If this thing don't choose the right damn words, when's the first? It keeps talking about this damn World Cup that apparently nobody in the U.S. cares about. June 21st.
Oh,
it's in a couple days.
On Father's Day.
Oh, is that when Father's Day is?
Yeah.
I never know.
I was close. Yes. Well, it is spring, so I'm doing spring cleaning.
Yeah, you are a little late on that. It's called
You know I've been fighting for my dang life. It's still spring if I do it before the 21st.
Okay. What does spring cleaning look like for you?
Getting rid of the old stuff. So Jai will squeeze his ass into any clothes. It don't matter if he got ones that fit. He wants to wear his outfit that was a 5T and he's an 8.
So you getting rid of all his
I have to.
and stuff like that.
His old socks, his old underwear, his old clothes. He'll just put them on.
What is spring cleaning for you?
It used to be
okay,
me cleaning my house.
Well,
now it's like, let's just get rid of unnecessary stuff.
I was on a call with coworkers and spring cleaning came up, and I realized that everybody has different definition of what spring cleaning is, like what you're actually cleaning. And to me, I was like, oh, spring cleaning means like you're doing a deep clean of like your refrigerator, your stove, stuff like that. And they was like, no, spring cleaning for me is the entire house, closets, all this other stuff. I
Yeah.
said, nah, I
You
don't.
cleaning, and then for me, it's cleaning and also getting rid of extra shit.
I was like,
Combined.
spring cleaning for me is like the stuff that I'm not routinely cleaning, like the inside of the refrigerator. I'm like, my closet, it gets cleaned routinely, so I don't consider that part of the spring cleaning.
Well, it's also just getting rid of stuff, which isn't really cleaning because
Mhm.
the stuff's already clean.
It's
You just,
decluttering.
you just getting rid of some stuff. But then you also, like you said, clean the stuff you normally don't clean every week when you're cleaning up everything else. What do other people think it is?
They thought they more like you. It's everything. I'm the one that was like, no, it's the stuff that's not routinely being
Yeah,
clean.
it's supposed to be like, feng shuiing your space.
I don't do it. I don't participate. I hate cleaning. But that's why I pay somebody to come here and do it. Anywho, I have a story to tell you about a story at Kroger.
What happened to
I
Kroger?
tried to do the right thing and I really wanted to cuss this lady out.
What happened?
Afterwards. Because I was wrong. I just didn't know that I was wrong. But I go to Kroger because I had a hankering for oxtails.
Oh, okay.
So I went to Kroger to go get oxtails, and I stop in front of the meat area, where they can like actually slice meat for you and stuff, because I didn't see packages of oxtails
why
out
would they
there.
have just packages of oxtails?
They usually do, but I didn't see anything out there. But I know a lot of times they'll keep them in the back. So I was waiting in line, and there was a lady in front of me at the countertop ordering her stuff. And then I saw another area, and I was like, oh, let me go check this area, see if maybe it's over there. So I go check that area, and then it wasn't there. So I walked back to the counter, and now I see the lady that was being taken care of. She's standing over there, and she's talking to somebody. And I'm like, oh, she talking to somebody. And then the guy that was helping her is sitting at the register. So I look at him, and he kind of looks at me like, okay, are you ready? And I walk up to him, and I say, do you guys have any packages of oxtails in the back? Because I don't see any out here. And after he says, let me go check. So he steps off to go check, and I hear the person that was being taken care of before me, the lady that she's talking to goes, I could have sworn I was in line. And people just act like I wasn't in line. And so me thinking, oh, I didn't realize I was cutting in front of her.
Yeah.
I look over to her and I say, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you were in line. And she walks past me like I didn't say a word to her.
Okay.
I was just like, then what's the point in being a bitch?
My thing is, to be in line, you have to actually... How was I able to even come over there if you was in line?
And how was I supposed to know that you and this woman...
who already
that's
ordered,
sitting here just carrying on a casual conversation? I'm thinking y'all just so happen to see each other in here, and y'all just standing here talking while everybody else is doing their fucking grocery shopping.
Because you wasn't here before.
I'm like, because I didn't have to apologize to your ass. I could have acted like you ain't say shit to me. And I was just like, I tried to do the right thing by apologizing because I didn't realize I was cutting the lady in line. I didn't realize it.
Girl, I wouldn't care. My rule is you got to be in line for me to cut you in line. We just would have been over there for
but
you.
You know how those lines at the meat station and stuff, like the deli station, they not...
Yeah, I know, but you talking to somebody else in the corner is not in line.
I'm like, how about you shut the fuck up and get in line then? Because he had been standing up for a solid minute.
Waiting on you, apparently.
So I'm like, I don't know why. That type of stuff, like, it would have been fine if, and I'm not saying she had to accept my apology or something, but her response, I was just like... This is the type of stuff that would get me in trouble.
See, what's crazy is she would have been pissed if you ignored her, too.
Exactly.
So if you would have sat there and just act like so now don't nobody hear me, like...
And then here's the other thing. She walks up to a cart that's also at the meat stations, and I'm guessing her son, I don't know who this dude was, but looks young enough to be her son, who is already at the countertop being taken care of. So I'm like... So then what the fuck are you causing such an issue for if your cart in your party is already up at the countertop being taken care of? I don't understand what the hostility is for.
You a +1 mad. You wasn't even placing the order. That's why you over here running your mouth.
Exactly. I was just like, oh, I want to cuss out so bad. But I was like, Jocelyn, you already apologized to her. That's all you can do. You did your part. You owned up to your part in it because you didn't realize, yes, you cut her in line, but you didn't realize that. But it did make me think, because I think that happens a lot at grocery stores and stuff. People would just start having casual conversations and then forgetting that there's still other people in the grocery store. Like, you're not the only one here. Like, get out the middle of the lane while you having your conversation. Don't leave your cart in the middle of the aisle while you go talk to your friend and catch up. Go outside and do that shit. Because you in the way.
They everywhere. And then they act like they mad when you basically bump them. Like, well, move.
Move then.
Why are you in the canned food aisle?
Then I have people that I'll like get in line, and there was one person, I think I was at Kroger too. And I go to get in line, and it's a long line. You know how the lines start going down the aisle.
Yeah.
So I just see a cart just sitting in the aisle. You know, that also happens at Kroger too. You just see a random cart just sitting with grocery in it.
And no one
there. So I'm thinking, okay, this is just an abandoned cart. And I start to get in line. No, chick got out of line so she could go get something. And I am a firm believer, if you get your ass out that line,
you don't have your place anymore.
You do not have your place. I don't know why people forget how lines work.
Your cart
ain't no
can't
holding
hold
your spot. Like your cart, because you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna move that bitch. And I wish somebody would come to me and say some shit about it. I dare somebody.
Why, if it's so important, why are you gone? Just stay where you at.
My thing is, it's not my fault that you forgot to get your shit. Get the fuck out of line and then get back in it when you done. I do not care. And I will, I'm Jade, I'm telling you, I will fight somebody if they argue with me on this.
Girl, maybe
that is a hill that I will die on. I don't care because it pisses me off.
I'm thinking maybe I'm rude because when I see shit like that cart would have been moved.
Yes.
And they like, oh, my cart, I'd have been like, yeah, it's right there. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't care about your
I have literally had to tell people where they would get out of the line to go grab something, whatever they went to grab, because it don't matter to me. And then they're like, I was right here. And now I am. So, like, this is how lines work.
If you leave the line, you know.
And then I'm looking at people that's around the same age as me. So I'm like, I know both of us learned in school how lines work. You get behind the person in front of you, and as the person in front, the first person is being taken care of, you move up. If you get out of that line,
you gotta go to the back.
Lose your spot. Move your meat. Lose your seat.
Move your meat. Just move your feet.
Meat, feet, whatever. I always said meat.
No.
Because we are, because
we're meat.
We are.
Move your meat.
I genuinely thought it was move your meat, lose your seat. But anyway. But still, it pisses me off because so many people do that stupid ass shit. It annoys me.
I don't know why, because I just so politely go, yeah, and so you thought, bitch. And then I just look at them like, yeah, no.
I'm telling you, and I know that it shouldn't upset me as much as it does. But it's because it makes no logical sense. What makes you think you so special that you get to get out of the line, hold up everybody behind you while you go grab the box of Frosted Flakes that you and Lil Ray Ray forgot?
Where I see Lil Ray Ray?
It pisses me off. Like, the audacity to think that the world revolves around you that much that you just gonna hold up the line
while we wait.
While we wait for you. And the audacity to think that we actually are going to wait for you. I don't know you.
she on my green, you might as well took this cart because I'm not. That don't mean nothing to me.
Because it won't be in this spot when you get back.
Like I said, I've walked around the random cart like, I don't know if they think this is.
The audacity of people, like, I hate that shit. I cannot explain how much I hate that. But I think people get the feeling. Because I'm telling you, there has, yeah, I'm going to leave
It's the
it there.
time, because crazy people be at the store doing crazy
They
shit.
do.
Doing
They
crazy
do just be
shit.
doing all kinds of shit. And I'm just like, chill out. Chill out.
Why are we doing this? That's why I don't go to Walmart. Because there's always what is going on in here at Walmart.
And then they leave the poor kids with the carts too. Now, I ain't gonna even lie. I have been left, when I was a kid, I have been left with a cart or two in the line while somebody ran and got something else.
But that's different than no one being there at all. A child counts.
No, it doesn't. Because I'm gonna cut in front of that kid too. That kid ain't got no money to pay for shit.
See, the thing is, if your little hole don't interrupt the line, nothing goes slower.
Then I don't care. As long as you get back before I become the next person, fine.
But
sure. I'm still annoyed by it, but fine.
I don't get it. I would never just go, oh, I forgot something and think I'm gonna go over.
And a lot of the time, that should be on the whole other side of the damn store.
All the way in the frozen section.
And you sitting here trying to run. I'm like, come on now. It's...
Just take the cart with you.
Just take the cart with you and your child. Like, I just don't care. I don't care. And this is it's a hill I would die on 1,000,000 times. Stop getting out of line thinking that we supposed to just hold your spot.
Because we not.
I'm going to move it to the back of the line.
That's how I go. Move your meat.
Shut up. Shut up. That's what
I can't wait.
I seriously thought they said move your meat, lose your seat.
Move your feet.
Look, I thought it was move your meat. So
that'd be so inappropriate for them to say about kids. Oh my god.
Look, it still stands.
You cracked me up.
But anyway, I think I want to do something I haven't done in a while.
And what's that?
I want to do a no spend month.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, you haven't done that in a while.
I haven't. At one point, I was doing them a lot when I was at the last company because honestly, I couldn't afford not to. Like, let's be for real. I wasn't making that much money. And I was paying for all the editing and stuff for the podcast. So I was like, yeah, I need a no spend month. But I'm thinking about doing one now, just because I haven't done one in a while. And I think they're nice to do occasionally, just to keep yourself in check with your spending.
Which I be needing. No, I don't do it. I just be buying shit. That's we know.
And that's what I've been doing. I just been buying stuff. So I was going to see if everyone wanted to do a no spend challenge for July.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you can't spend anything. It just means you budget and you don't spend outside of that budget.
Mm-hmm.
So you budget your what I call fun money, the things that you can spend on whatever you want to spend it on. But once that fun money is gone,
that's it.
It's gone. And I would be interested to see how much money people save. Because I have an idea of how much I'd actually save.
The first time I did it, I saved $400 in 1 month. I said, damn, what am I doing? Like, you think about your check and you go, that's a lot of unaccounted for. Mm-hmm. And I went looking around my apartment looking for the shit. So I said, what did I buy that was $400? Every
time I do a no spend month, I realize just what I'm spending my money on.
And it's never anything
and it's
important.
It's never something that you're going to be like, you know what, I'm so proud of that purchase. Never. It's always like food. You know damn well you ain't need that shit.
Yeah, and it's not grocery food. We talk about just going to Chili's just because.
Just because.
Plenty of groceries in the house sitting right there.
Plenty of grocery. Even already got cooked food, leftovers.
Could just put it in the microwave real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Still, where you at? Your big back ass at Chili's.
CM chicken.
Oh, yeah, I remember your CM chicken.
Getting some Korean fried chicken. Yep.
That add up because it's not that cheap.
It's not cheap.
It adds up.
But yeah, so starting July 1st, through
Okay.
July 31st. We do a no spend month. If you guys want to join, just
Yeah.
comment, let us know that you joining us, and we might make this like a whole group effort. Cause I mean, can we all use a little more money in our pocket?
Sure can.
And I'm telling you, like, if people actually start budgeting appropriately or the right way, and I feel like I can say that because I do have a degree in accounting, so I was taught how to budget. But if people actually started budgeting the right way instead of saying, "Oh yeah, I budget, but it's just to know when my bills is coming out." I'm like, that's
No,
not a
that's not a
budget.
that's a bill
That's
tracker.
yeah,
That is
you're
a
that's
bill
just you
tracker.
tracking your bills. That's it. That is not a budget. A I said it before, a budget, you are supposed to assign a name to every dollar you plan to make. That is what a true budget is, and you stick to it.
No going into your savings to get money out.
Nope.
Unless it's an emergency.
Unless it's an emergency. Now, of course, emergencies don't count. But a budget is you assign a name to every dollar so that you know exactly where your money is going or where it's going to go. So that's what I want to do for July.
Yeah, I do need to do that.
And I think I want to maybe do like once a quarter, just do one no spend month.
Yeah, because I don't think it'll be that hard.
I've already been decreasing my spending anyway, especially since I've been trying to lose weight. Like, I don't go to like the gas station and get snacks all the time. I don't go to grocery stores and buy a bunch of snacks anymore.
And that saves a lot of money.
Saves a lot of money. I also don't go to a bunch of restaurants anymore either because I meal prep more often now. Now I do reserve every Friday and Saturday to eat whatever I want.
Yeah, we don't cook on weekends.
I'm not cooking
We don't
on
cook
a
on
weekend.
weekends.
My nephew,
we eat out all weekend and cook throughout the week.
My nephew texted me last weekend and was like, "Hey, I'm ready for the short ribs, rice and gravy," because I told him I would make him short ribs, rice and gravy. And actually, I think it was like last week Friday. And I messaged him back and I was like, "Okay, once I get back from the cabin, I'll make it." But I didn't get back early enough on Sunday. And I was like, I think I got back here at like 7, 8 o'clock. I was like, I'm
It's
not
too late.
And first of all, cooking short ribs takes a minute if you
Like,
want
it's
them to
far
actually
too
be
late.
good.
I was like, it's far too late.
So I was like, I'm not doing it. And then by Tuesday, he's texting me. He's like, "So are you making the short ribs or?" And I was just like, I bought them. I said, but they won't be cooked until next Sunday. I do not cook during the week. The only day I cook is on Sundays when I do meal prep.
You like my message would have been the or because
I don't cook during the week. I'm too busy during the week.
See, I cook all week and don't cook on the weekends.
I'm too busy during the week to cook with work and podcast stuff and watching stuff for Soul to Screen. And I'm like, Saturday is my day where I try to not do anything. And then Sunday is the day where I meal prep and get ready for the work week. And I also do all the postings and schedule all the postings and stuff for the podcast so that I don't have to worry about it during the week. Doesn't always work, but I try. But yeah, I'm not cooking Monday through Saturday. Sorry.
You gotta wait. Next window.
Yeah, we missed the window. But speaking of the cabin, I went to the cabin with good old Nate last weekend. It was fun, actually. It was fun. There was no hiccups along the way. It was a nice cabin, huge house, I guess, huge backyard. We spent most of the time there. I did get sick.
From what?
And I told him, I said, it just wouldn't be a trip if I didn't get sick one day. I told him, I said, I don't know what it is about trips with him. Because it didn't happen any of the 2-3 trips we took.
Yeah.
But anytime me and Nate go somewhere, especially if we're staying like multiple days, it's like that second day, something is wrong with me.
Why is he poisoning you?
No, because it's never food that I'm getting from him. It's always we go to restaurants. And we went to a restaurant in Nashville, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't think it was the restaurant. I just think it was what I ate, because you know how I am.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to this restaurant. It's a pizza place, a local pizza place. And we order a pizza. Pizza was fire, even though I only ate one slice because I was
sick.
No, I wasn't sick at that point. It filled me up.
Yeah, you know, I told you the wind gonna blow hard enough, it's gonna blow away.
So, but they also had on the dessert menu, these cookie butter bombs.
Interesting.
Which they look like just regular yeast donut holes, and they just stuff it with cookie butter. And you know I love me some cookie butter.
That sounds good.
It was delicious. I ate one of those things, and as soon as I felt that first bite of that hit my stomach, I said, "Oh." I said, "This ain't gonna be good." I said, "But I'm gonna try to."
You sitting there, hold it in.
I'm like, we ain't even we not at the dang on cabin. I can't be out in public like this, because I'm like, and his car ain't even close to him. We have to walk back to his car.
It's just, oh gosh, I'll be sitting in my stomach. I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble now.
Literally, I was thinking that, because that thing was, I only ate one of them. It came with like 7, and he ate 2, I believe. I ate 1. And when I felt my stomach start fucking, I was like, I don't want to eat no more. Yeah. And he, so we pay, and then we leave, and we start walking further away from his car to venture.
It ain't hard to do, then you miles away from the car.
Yeah, because we're just venturing the area. And I was like, I literally feel like I'm going to throw up. And so there's a bench there, and I sit down. He comes and sits next to me. He's carrying like the purse and everything, because I'm like, I don't want anything in my hands,
because I'm going to throw up.
Literally, I feel like if somebody just touched me, I'm going to throw up. So I'm sitting there. He comes and sits next to me, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just trying to think, like, how can I stop what I know is going to happen? And it wasn't throw up.
That's why I said keep it closed, don't fart.
I was like, how can I stop this? I said, but my stomach is gearing up for something nasty. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. And finally, I'm sitting there trying to stop it. And you know,
you can't stop it.
I finally I stood up out of nowhere, and I just walked back into the restaurant, and I said, "Can I use you guys' bathroom?"
Yeah.
I fucked that bathroom. I felt so bad. I could hear people outside. There was multiple bathrooms. Let's start there, but I could hear people outside. I was like, people act like they just take their time in the bathroom. I was just like, oh, this is so fucking
for my life right now.
Literally, I feel like my stomach is punching me. Like, this don't feel good either. I don't want to be here. So once that was over, I come back outside. Nate's now sitting in front of the restaurant, and I was just like, I know I was in there for a minute. I'm like, ugh, ain't no hiding what I did. Ain't no hiding what I did. He know. Which is why he wasn't surprised when I said, can we go back to the cabin?
Please.
I need to rest. I feel like I got my ass kicked. So we went back to the cabin. We played, it had it is table tennis, but ping pong.
Yeah.
My first time ever playing that.
Really?
Uh-huh. We played ping pong. We played cornhole. We played pool.
Okay.
And my most proudest moment was the first night. We were trying to build a fire, and I know, like, it's been raining a lot here.
So the mud out the ground.
So it was all wet and everything, so it was hard to build a fire.
Yeah.
But Nate was trying for like 2 hours to keep this fire burning. He was using all the charcoal in the fire pit along with wood. He was like, they don't have any like fire starter kits. He was putting all kinds of lighter fluid on it, trying his damnedest. And he was getting annoyed because we was gonna put hot dogs over the bonfire, just have hot dogs the first night. And we go, so again, he had been trying for at least 2 hours to get this fire to just keep burning, and it would not. But you could see that it was like smoldering.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what, screw this. And he was like, I'll be right back. So he goes up the deck, and I could see him doing something with the grill. And something in my head just goes, okay, we tried to fan air on it, and because he keeps saying like it's not getting enough oxygen. So I was like, so it needs air. And I'm like, but we already tried fanning air on it. That didn't work. And I was like, but I feel like in my head, I kept thinking friction. It needs friction. And Nate kept correcting me because it wasn't friction that I was like, but I don't know shit about building a fire. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
You know what I mean.
And I just kept thinking, I was like, it needs friction. How can I get more friction on this? I was like, it needs, maybe if I put air on it at a faster pace. And by then he had them bought down the paper plates we were going to use. So I start fanning the hell out of that fire with the paper plates, like super quick. And then all of a sudden I could see like the wood and the charcoal starts turning bright red.
Yeah, but he poured that shit on it. He like, what?
And I was like, I said, I think this is working. I think this is working. Yeah. So I start fanning even faster. And then before I know it, big ass fire.
Yeah, big. You like,
and Nate's upstairs on the deck fucking around with the grill. And then all of a sudden he hear me go, oh, and he was like, the fuck is going on? I said, I cannot believe I got this to actually work. I did not think that was actually going to work because I don't know shit about building a fire. I said, but
it worked.
Call me a damn Girl Scout because I built a fire.
He probably was salty. He done went and got the grill.
He did. He said he was literally getting ready to put the charcoal in the grill and just light the grill up. I said, but no, we had, and it was a pretty nice fire too once we got it going. And we made our hot dogs and had a night.
Okay, that don't sound bad. Besides the beginning.
And actually, that was the second day. So now we get to Sunday where we rent the pontoon.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, how'd that go? That's what I'm most interested in. How'd that go?
So first off, when he said we were renting a boat, I thought it was more like a speedboat because he said they wanted to do tubing.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so they want something fast. So I was thinking, oh, we'll probably be on a speedboat, but no, we were on a pontoon, which nothing wrong with that. I'm good with a pontoon. So before we leave to go to this place to have our little boat day with him and his kids, I asked him, do I need to wear a swimsuit? Do you think I have a high chance of still getting wet even though I don't plan to actually tube? He's like, probably not. I'm like, cool. So I wore, you remember I just recently bought from J. Brooks boutique the short, the olive green shorts with the jacket. Yeah. I wore that. Cute. I ain't gonna even lie, it was cute. I really want J. Brooks to like sponsor us. I really do, because their clothes are actually legit. They're expensive. Actually, they're not. They can be expensive, but they are actually really nice. But anyway, so I go up. I have on that outfit. We go up to
Too cute for you was ass. Shouldn't have did that.
That's what I had. But we go there. We get on the pontoon. We're riding along. His kids are doing the tubing. And then it starts pouring raining. I got soaked.
I'll be mad.
I wasn't mad, but the vest that I had on, one, it was lined, and it's good quality clothes, which means when it gets wet, it gets heavy.
Mhm.
So it felt like somebody had put at least 5 pounds on my shoulders. And I was just like, this is, I am soaked from the rooter to the tutor. Just soaked.
I'll be mad. Not at nobody. Not at anybody. But I'd be mad. I'm like,
Like hair dripping wet.
I ain't been that wet in a while.
I hadn't either. And there's nothing we could have done about it because we're on a pontoon.
Like there's nothing you can do. Ain't no shelter. Ain't nowhere to go. You in the middle of the water. Where can you go?
Literally. Like it rained so hard. Like it almost at times felt like I was being drowned. And that might be an exaggeration, but as we said earlier, I'm dramatic. So I probably actually did convince myself I was drowning.
That's your truth.
That's my truth, and you will not take that away from me. But yeah, so, and it took hours for my clothes to dry.
They didn't have no, well, no, you didn't want to put that in the dryer.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we did that, but even the pontoon time, that was still a good time too. It had been a while since I seen Nate's kids anyway, so caught up with them, saw them do their tubing. He did some tubing. I watched it all happen.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as we got on the pontoon, his son's girlfriend was like, "Oh, I think Jocelyn should go first." I said, "I don't think that's correct because Jocelyn won't be going at all.
I'm watching.
I'm just here. I'm a spectator.
Don't you see this fly ass outfit?
You think I intended for this to get wet?" But that's on me. I shouldn't have listened to him. I should have just worn a bathing suit, like,
because that's what I would have thought. I just would have wore a bathing suit, tank top on top, shorts.
Yeah, I had brought something if I decided to wear a bathing suit, but I was like, I really don't want to wear it. So, yeah. Anyway, it was a good trip. We're and oddly enough, that area literally just had a tornado last night.
Ooh, that sucks.
I was like, oh, I'm glad I'm not there now. Like I was just there a couple days ago. So we were on Lake Monroe where we did the pontoon, and then we went to Nashville, Indiana, where we stayed in Brown County at the cabins. So it was pretty nice. Now we're on the search for a cabin in Michigan.
Okay.
And we're talking about going there for our birthdays because our birthdays are September 10th.
Oh, so y'all share a birthday too?
We do. Yeah, his birthday is September 10th. Legit birthday is September 10th. My birthday that I tell everyone is September 10th. It's not actually my birthday, but it's close enough. So,
that's a little joint. That's cute.
We used to every year. I mean, I think not counting the year that we didn't talk to each other. And I think last year, every year we go somewhere for our birthdays. We went to Florida a few times, Michigan. I feel like we went somewhere else. I don't know. But we usually go somewhere.
Y'all are interesting to me.
You say that every time I talk about him.
Because y'all are.
Yes, I understand why people say that. We operate like we're in a relationship.
I know you do.
I 100% understand that. But we 100% are not in a relationship. Neither one of us wants to be in a relationship. I think that's why it works. But yes, I 100% understand why people would find our dynamic interesting because we do operate as if we are in a relationship.
And then the past.
Oh,
and really?
Yeah.
But y'all make it work. That's what y'all doing.
That's because we don't harp on the past. Like, I don't bring that up to him. He don't bring it up to me. It's in the past.
My mom would just find it funny and I'll laugh to myself all the time.
Oh, I do that here. I'd be like,
what a mess.
Huh. Interesting. What an interesting outcome.
Yeah.
And honestly, one that I did not predict. I didn't think I would ever talk to Nate again. To be honest, I genuinely didn't. if it wasn't for that Facebook message, and I'm telling you, when I saw his name come up in my Facebook, I was like, who the fuck is Nate? I done literally forgot about him. And then I was like, oh yeah. I was like, but I thought he was blocked on Facebook.
Didn't he have to disappear? Where'd you go?
And I was like, oh, he wasn't blocked on Facebook because I couldn't block him on Facebook.
With your other page.
No, I couldn't block him on Facebook because he had me blocked on Facebook. So when he removed his block, that gave him access to me again. I said, oh.
Oh, yeah, he blocked you first. Well,
yeah, he blocked me first when he was trying to get back with the chick, the crazy
that's
chick.
Messed up that they made yours null and void.
Yeah, you can't do anything with their page if you're blocked.
No, like, that sucks.
But yeah, so he removed his block and then he messaged me, and then I was just like, how the hell is he messaging me? But yes, like I said, I understand why people feel the way they do about me and Nate's dynamic. It's not your average friendship.
It's not.
We've been through a lot together, but we are friends. And unfortunately, to people on the outside, it looks like we're in a relationship. But I can promise you, we are not. At least I don't think we are.
Yeah, like
I'll be honest, I don't think we are. But anywho, I had a lot of updates today. That took the whole damn episode.
Joe did.
So hopefully y'all like that, but that, let's just be for real. That's the whole point of the show. It's supposed to be us catching up with each other each week. We're friends, right?
Right.
Also. But we're not bullying you or anything. Like, don't spread that narrative. But you joined our little circle, so sometimes we got to update y'all on our lives because y'all still need to get to know us just like we need to get to know y'all. So what y'all been up to? What's been going on in y'all lives this week or ever? Or, for the new people that's here that has never talked to us before, let us know what you got going on in your life. What's your pain points? What wins did you have this week? What brought you joy? Who were you proud of yourself for not crashing out on? Because that happens to me at work all the time. I'll be like, you know what, God? You did your big one this week.
It's always one. At least one.
You did your big one this week. Because the way you gave me restraint, that was nothing but the Lord. That's my take.
It's sad it got to be that way.
It is. But anywho, with that, make sure you do all the things, like, comment, subscribing,
share
on YouTube, on the audio platforms like Apple, Spotify, and Audible, or iHeart and Chrome. Make sure you're rate, review. What's the other one? Share, comment, and I feel like there was another one. Was it? It's been a long day, so rate, review, share, comment. That was all right, that's it. Yeah, make sure you do all the things. And as usual, thank you for your support. However it is you support us, whether it be just watching our clips, watching the full episodes, giving us a like, giving us a comment, whether you're active in our Discord, however you show up for us, we appreciate you. And with that, we will see you guys in the next one. Deuces.
Bye, friends.